Hi, folks. How are you? We are about 3 minutes away from our official start time. This is Global Tarot Circle, February 28th, 19. No, gosh. Wow, it's been oh, wow. Yeah, right. February 28th, 2018. How about that? Wow, I was just in this time warp for a minute there. So we start officially at 7 o'clock. Now, this will be posted on YouTube and also in the Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook. So if you're watching an archive, we won't be able to answer. But please do watch. I'm sure a lot of exciting things are going to happen. We have a really good topic for today, and people are starting to come in. Tracy's here. Glad you're here. So the way this works, when you first get here, it would be great if you could introduce yourself in the comments. Who are you? Where in the world are you? What deck are you working with? How long have you been working with tarot? Tell us a little something about yourself. We've got Debs here from the UK. So introduce yourself again. What deck are you working with? And also, do you have any burning questions? Now, a burning question could be a question about tarot, something about a tarot reading or a spread or a card that came up that you didn't understand. A burning question could also be a question that you ask a room full of tarot readers where we can all do a reading for you. Generally, what we will do is for about the first half hour, we're going to do readings. Hey, Joe's here. Good to see you. So generally for the first half hour or so, we do readings, and then we go into some teaching. And we've got a great topic today that was chosen in our Global Tarot Circle Facebook group. So if you're not a member of the Global Tarot Facebook group, Global Tarot Circle Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Global Tarot Circle Facebook group, please go ahead and ask to join. We'd love to have you. What we do there is let you know when this is going to happen. It happens once a month. And the exercises that we do here, we also carry over and do there and share some other tarot stuff. And at some point before I go live each month, I'll ask in the group what we need to cover. And whatever people ask, that's what we're going to cover in the second half. And so today's program was suggested by really Julie and Julia. And I put their suggestions together and came up with one thing, and that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. Hey, Amy likes my hair. That's awesome. I just got it done today. I'm glad you like it. Okay. And Julie is here. And so Julie, yeah, glad you're here because we're going to do your topic. Okay. And let's see. Tracy says it's 8 a.m. in Perth. So good morning to you. Good time to start. Just started using the Bonefire Tarot. What a classy choice. That's awesome. And Tracy has a question. So everyone, without further delay, get your cards shuffled. We're going to start doing some readings. Here's how it works. If I see your question, roll by. And if I don't, feel free to repeat it. If I don't get to you, I'm sorry, but I try to get to as many people as I can. So type in your question. I'll read the question. I'll pull a card and give what I think. And then anyone else who also wants to read for the person should do so following this format. Put their name, the card you pulled, and your interpretation. Just one card. And then together, it's like we're doing a 3-dimensional tarot spread all across the planet. So how great is that, right? Okay. So let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so Tracy's question. This is like my favorite question for tarot. What does the universe want me to know? So, who wants to pull a card for Tracy? The question is, what does the universe want Tracy to know? And this is a great teachable moment right away, because later on, we're going to be talking about interpretations, how to really get meanings out of the cards, how to interpret the cards in context. And so the context of the question, what does the universe want me to know, you're going to have to look at the card and interpret it in some sort of way that sounds like a spiritual message that the universe would want you to know. So let's see how we do that. It's an interesting context. Okay, I got the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So this could be a couple of different things, and I'm just going to reel them off because they resonate in certain ways. The universe wants you to know that whatever it is from your family or from your past, it could be about property, it could be about something that you're carrying internally, emotionally, whatever it is from your past, whatever it is from your family that you have to release or have to let go of, now is the time to do it. That's number one. Number two, there seems to be this real opening, a closing of one thing, an opening of another, and that feels good, but difficult. And number three, you are not just the sum total of your experiences, but also the karma and purpose with which you came into the planet. And you are, whether you realize it or not, working on that. That's what I think the universe wants you to know. So we've got more coming into the comments, and I'm not going to get to read them. So if I read for you, make sure you read the comments and respond to the people who are reading for you. Okay, we've got Patty. Patty wanted to know, is it time to change jobs? Okay, it's Ayala, Patty? Not sure how to pronounce. I really apologize. So we're going to go with the second name and say Patty, and I'm sorry, that's what we're going to do. So, if you'd like to read, is it time for Patty to change jobs? Her name, the card you drew, and your interpretation. Okay, very good. Is it time to change jobs? Yes, by all means, check it out, you guys. I got the 8 of Pentacles reversed. It doesn't get much clearer than that. And it may be time to change entire careers. And there may be an educational thing that you need to do to make that happen. Now, this brings us into the specific question that Julia asked. Another teachable moment here. This was an easy interpretation because the question was about jobs, and it's pentacles, and pentacles is about work and money and that kind of stuff. And if it had been a cups card, that could be more confusing because cups tend to be more about emotion. But then you would be looking at how you're feeling about your job. So you always want to interpret it in the context. So I see Joanne's here doing readings for people. So Tracy, Patty, make sure you look in the comments. Amy also doing readings for people. We see that Lola is here. Steve is here. Good to see you guys. Margaret is here. Glad you're here. Danny is here. Okay. Very good. So we have time for a question. If there's something that you would like to know. Hey, Linda is here. She had a hard time getting in last time. And there can always be technical issues, and if they are, we deal with them. But here you are. Glad you're here. Kelly's here from Boston. Okay, so now is our time of burning questions. People are doing readings for each other in the comment thread. And my question to you is, what would you like to know? Do you have a burning question about tarot? Hey, Tasha is here. How are you? Glad you're here. Okay. Burning question about tarot, burning question for a reading. What would you like to know? And while we're reading the readings in the comments, let me just give you a little information about some stuff I've got going on. I am getting ready in just a week. I'll be flying to Connecticut. I'll be available for in-person readings in Connecticut at True Bikram Yoga in Madison. I'm also doing 2 workshops. I'm doing a workshop called Awakening Intuition, and that's going to be at True Bikram Yoga in New Haven on March 11th. And in Madison, we're doing manifesting your vision with cards and candles on Sunday the 18th. So interesting stuff. Hope you're there. Okay, let's see. Here are some questions from Danny. What can I do to attract more wealth and abundance in this year? Very good. Anyone who wants to read for Danny, you know what to do. Name, the card you got, and then your interpretation. What can Danny do to attract more wealth and abundance this year? Okay, we have the Eight of Wands reversed. So this is a real kick in the butt, my friend. But this is also a teachable moment because it is an opportunity for tarot magic. The Eight of Wands is about swift motion. It's about getting the word out. So it kicks you in the butt to say what you need to say or do what you need to do to promote yourself, to get noticed, to get recognized. This feels like you're blocking yourself in some way, that you're not doing what you need to do, and that things are not moving as swiftly as you would like. And so we're all going to look at this and focus on this together, and we're going to turn the card right side up to bring Danny swift energy and the ability to connect with the right people, talk to the right people, so that he can increase his wealth. So, anyone, go ahead, read for Danny. I see Julie's reading for Danny, so take a look at all of that. Joanne has a question. Why am I being haunted, in a good way, by a friend who is no longer in this world? A Facebook friend, not one close to me, and I know who you're talking about, and it's actually someone close to me, and he's been really on my mind lately, too. I think I know who we're talking about. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm probably not wrong. It's because of your Edgar Allan Poe quilt. I swear to goodness, it is. That's what I think. Now, okay, to be fair, Joanne is my friend. I visit her house, and she's a quilter. She sent me a beautiful quilt. I'm still waiting for the guy to come and hang stuff on my wall so I can hang it up and show you all. And yes, Joanne's saying I'm correct. We're talking about the same person here. So there is no card that told me that Joanne, a stranger from me, has an Edgar Allan Poe quilt. I know she does because I know her. So just to be fair, what card told me that? The Eight of Swords. Don't ask me how that was, but it did. Okay. So, people are reading for Joanne. Tasha. Will the thing I'm adding career-wise be successful? Okay, anyone wanting to read for Tasha? Her name, the card you get, your answer. She's working on something new. Will it be successful? Let's take a look and see what we've got here. Oh my goodness, yes, I love it. The Four of Pentacles reversed. Yes, I think so. I really do. I think it will be successful. And it may be something that actually helps people and heals people. So, there's all of that. How great is that? Okay. So, let's see what we got going on here. Readings for Danny going on. Linda, thanks for the comment about my hair. I just got it done today with a new stylist, and I think I'm going to keep her. Okay. Margaret, okay. I think I missed your first question here. Here it is. Okay, Margaret, I am 71. Will I find someone true blue? Or is there someone that is in my life already that will realize what a good person I am? And in this regard, I think you're specifically talking about romance. And I gotta say, first of all, just from my own experience, don't let age get in your way in your thinking here. I know so many people, so many of my clients who meet someone great in their 70s, even in their 80s, and even in their 90s. So age is not a factor here, except when you get older, you have less tolerance for BS. There is that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? So if you want to read for Margaret, her name, the name of the card you get, and your interpretation, is she going to find someone? Has she already met someone? What do you see for Margaret's love life? It appears she is single at this time. Oh my goodness, Margaret, the tower. No. So this is another teachable moment, everyone, where, what do you do when you get this really difficult card in a reading that, obviously you would want to be all hearts and flowers and light and beautiful. And, here's the thing I'm going to say. Here's my interpretation, Margaret. Because the risk of partnering with someone is so there, it is so risky. And because you have succumbed to that risk before, someone had better really rock your world for you to be open to them. And if you did, it would be life-changing. But you need to be careful. You need to be careful about past trauma and how that relates to the way you open up to people. You need to be careful about what you choose, because you may be comfortable with things that aren't good for you. And you need to be ready for your life to change radically. So that's how I would interpret that. We've got others coming in. And wow, I see Julie saying lovers reverse, let go of past feelings. That really goes right along with the tower. Okay, let's see. Tracy reading for Joanne, Amy reading for Danny. Okay, Kelly. Let's read for Kelly. I'm expecting my second child in October. Right now, before my first child's first birthday. Oh, goddess bless you, my goodness. What can I expect this time around? Okay, so let's take a look. And it looks like what you're asking about really might be about the actual childbirth experience, but also about the experience of having a newborn with a young one, two young kids at the same time. What might you experience there? So if you'd like to read for Kelly about this great blessing, and congratulations to you, certainly, Kelly's name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Okay, let's see what you got going on here. Kelly. The sun reversed. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, the older child may feel eclipsed by the younger. You may have some sibling rivalry issues. You may also find the new baby to be a little bit moody. So that's what I get. There's nothing that I'm worried about. And I'm going to tell you something. When I think about childbirth, I am really pleased that I'm seeing a baby with its head first, just like coming out right there. Now, later on, we're going to be talking about interpretation. So folks, here's another teachable moment. We're talking about her having a baby, and I'm interpreting the sun reversed by simply looking at what's going on. The baby coming down head first looks like birth will not be too difficult. And I just saw Betsy come in here. So good to see you. Glad you're here. I'm coming to Connecticut soon, Okay, let's see. We got readings going on. Tasha, I would have thought the Knight of Swords for quilt. That's good. I like it. Okay. Okay, for Kelly expecting her second child, Joanne's reading for you here in the comments. Linda's reading for Tasha. Amy's reading for Margaret. And let's see what we got going on. Okay, we're going to read now for Debs. Thanks so much for being here. Deb has had a recent career move. She wants to know what she can expect from that. So if you'd like to read for Debs, you know what to do. Put her name, the name of the card, and your interpretation. Debs, make sure you look through the comment thread to see all your readings, and I'll read for you now. And again, we're doing single card readings, but together it becomes like a whole tarot spread, doesn't it? Okay, and it's cool because we're here from all over the world. We've got people in Australia, people in the UK, people in the US, all over the place. So that's pretty cool. People in Canada. It's an interesting thing. And Lola's going to go have her dinner. We'll see you later. Okay. Debs, what can I expect from my recent move? My recent career move? Okay, Ten of Swords. Ouch. Another teachable moment. It may not be easy. There may be some workplace energy, the way people talk to each other, the way people deal with each other, that may be difficult. There may be a lot to learn, a lot you have to deal with. Now, I noticed that at the same time, someone, I don't remember who, just got the 10 of Cups, which is like really positive. So I think you put those things together, we recognize this is big. This is a big career move. It will be stressful, but I think it'll be good too. Okay. So Lola's still here. She's not going to be commenting. Got it. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Okay. Jerry reading for Margaret. Tracy reading for Debs. Debs is getting a lot of big cards here. Okay. Joanne reading for Debs. Okay. Lisa. Will I ever lose this extra weight? Girl, I feel your pain. Oh my goodness gracious. What a struggle is this? Wow. Okay. And I've played around with ways to use tarot to assist in weight loss. With some success. I mean, I guess when I'm super skinny, you can say with a lot of success. So we'll see what happens. But if you go to my website, ChristianaGaudet.com, and search on tarot for weight loss, you'll find a blog post on it. So, okay, for Lisa, a card for her weight loss. The name, Lisa, name of the card, and your interpretation. Okay, will I ever lose this extra weight? Lisa. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Yes, you will. And here's the interpretation of how to. And here's a teachable moment when we talk about going deeper. With the Ace of Pentacles reversed, I get a very clear yes. And I could just stop it at that, but why not interpret further? Why not also interpret the card as why? Or what you can do? What would be some advice? And the advice here, I often think about the Ace of Pentacles as the root chakra. And we all know that the root chakra is really, if we hang on to extra weight, it's a root chakra issue. It really is. And so doing work with the root chakra, doing meditation with the root chakra, doing more grounding work, and recognize that sometimes you may feel ungrounded and eat heavy grounding foods to feel more grounded. And so try to do meditation to take the place of the food. Try those things. That's what I got. Okay. And Betsy says she can help with weight loss. Okay. Very good. Okay. And I see Julia here. So yeah, Julia, we're talking about your topic today. Today's topic is brought by Julie and Julia. All righty. And let's see. I am not seeing any more comments, but I'm thinking they might be there. Okay, here we go. We've got Tracy reading for Lisa. Okay. So, we've got Danny reading for Lisa. So we're going to get started with our topic in just a few moments. We've got Amy reading for Lisa. So if you're interested in a reading, if you've got a question, go ahead and chat it in. We do have time to take a couple of more questions. And I just want to remind people, if you happen to be watching in archive. Amy. Okay, first of all, if you happen to be watching in archive, we're not live. We can't answer your questions, okay? But right now we are live right now. We really are. Okay, so we've got a question from Amy, question from Sean. We'll do both of these. Amy, timing on a cross-country move. You and I have been going back and forth on this one. Anyone who wants to read for Amy, enter cross-country move. Her name, Amy, the card, and your interpretation, please. What I get, and this is a good teachable moment about timing. Oh my gosh, you guys saw me shuffle and I got the same card that I got for Lisa. Ace of Pentacles reversed for Amy. And, this is a teachable moment in how the same card can mean something different for someone different. But, when we look at the Ace of Pentacles reversed in this case, it is about being ungrounded. as it was for Lisa, but we'll interpret it differently in this context. And what the interpretation is for me is, Amy, the sooner the better. You know, you unroot yourself and you go. That's the way it shows up to me. Okay. Sean, what does my life hold for me in the next year? I know it's general. That's okay. What can Sean expect in the next year? Anyone who wants to read for Sean, his name, the card you get, and your interpretation. What do we see? No! No! I shuffled again. I swear to goodness. And the same darn card comes up. What do we think? What do we think? Okay. So Sean, for you, I'm going to interpret this as a job change. I think your life will hold a job change, which also it does for Amy's husband. So there you go. Okay. Let's see. Joey, I'm moving back to the south with my wife. Is this a good decision? My cards are not stuck, Lola. I swear to goodness they're not. I'm shuffling like a you-know-what. There it is. Okay, Joey, moving to the south with his wife. Is it a good decision? If you'd like to read for Joey, put his name, the name of the card you drew, and your reading. And Tracy's thinking perhaps that ace reversed ace is meant for all of us in a way. And I think since we're a group of tarot readers, maybe it is to remind us all to work on our grounding. It could be that, it could be something else. If anyone has any ideas on that, please share them, because I agree. And that doesn't make the readings for the individuals invalid. This is not instead of, but in addition to, isn't it? Okay, so Joey's move. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. If you are leaving because things have not been going well for you, then this is a good way to start something new. It may not be easy, but it may be very right and very appropriate. So if you'd like to read for Joey, go ahead. Okay. Hey, Karen Seeley's here. How you doing? Glad you're here. Okay, Joanne reading for Joey. And, it is interesting. I got a little bit of a difficult card there for Joey, being that it was reversed. Wheel of Fortune reversed is a little difficult. Joanne got the Seven of Swords. It does feel like this move is coming either, because of some difficulty. Okay, Julie is reading for Sean. Okay, Maria, how are you? Hey, Roxanne, cannot wait to see you at FPG in St. Petersburg. Glad you're here. Okay, Maria, am I better off taking a new job offer or sticking to what I'm doing now? Okay, what should Maria do? New job offer or stay where she is? If you'd like to read for her, put her name, the name of the card, and the reading. Okay. Seven of Wands. Take the one that would challenge you the most. How's that for an answer? Okay, if you'd like to read for Maria, go ahead. Okay. And here's a question from Julia. I have a question about how I can focus on an area of art and just do it. I am stuck and I am finally admitting it. I tend to do everything else first. And this is going to be the last reading before we go into our teaching part of our program. So anyone who wants to read for Julia on how she can get unstuck, how she can focus on an area of art and just do it. How can Julia get unstuck? You can phrase that question a number of ways. How could Julia get unstuck? Why is Julia stuck? There's a lot of ways to look at that. So if you'd like to read for Julia, her name, the card you get, and your interpretation. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ten of Swords, girl. So you are stuck with your own freaking overthinking. Each one of these swords in your back, clearly keeping you pinned down, is a thought. Maybe it's a negative thought. Maybe this isn't good enough. Maybe no one's going to like it. I don't know. You have to figure out what your thoughts are, but you are stuck in your own thoughts. That's what I think the problem is. Anyone else want to go ahead and read? I see that Julie is reading for Julia. I know, Julia, ouch, no doubt. But clearly you can fix it because it's with you. Okay, Linda's looking for reading. Okay, go ahead, Linda, ask your question. We'll take care of it. Okay. Okay, so when I see Linda's question, we'll go ahead and do it. And at this point, I want to talk a little bit about our topic for today. And Linda, I'm not seeing any comments coming in. So if I see it, as soon as I see it, we will get to you. Okay. So what Julie asked for was that we talk a little bit about how we actually get a real reading. There's a difference when you're doing a tarot reading. There's a difference between just giving a series of keywords or, this is this card, this is what it classically means, and this is a real reading. Okay. And let's do a real reading. Here is Linda's question. She wants to know if she will succeed in reaching her goal weight. So once again, do check out my blog post on tarot for weight loss. And here's Heather coming in. Glad you're here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if you want to read for Linda, and this will be our final reading for the evening, she wants to know about success in reaching her goal weight. And I have to say that I'd like to rephrase that question. That a better question here is not, will I succeed, but what do I need to do to succeed? So that's the question I'm going to ask. And let's see, for Linda, wow, the Tower, what you need to do. You need to make massive change, and it's really important that you do. The weight loss, to me, it feels like if you don't lose the weight, that could be problematic, maybe having to do with your health. So we're talking about dramatic change, changing what you learned about food, changing the relationship with food that you developed when you were young. There may be some things that make exercise difficult for you, but finding a way to exercise more. It's important that you do it, and I believe that you will do it. The Tower is a positive card in this regard because it's about losing a bunch of stuff, like the whole structure. But it's going to take massive change. And I see Joanne is reading for Linda. I see Lola is reading for Linda. So very good. So make sure you read all of these. Sean's reading for Linda. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to get going then on our topic. How do you actually turn a bunch of pictures into a tarot reading? How do you go deeply into the card? How do you read it in context? Let's take a look. The first thing I want to say is I think it's really wise to have a lot of different keywords for a card. I really do believe in memorized keywords and lots of them. That the more possible keywords you know for a card, the better you're going to be. Now, there's that whole argument about, is tarot interpretive or intuitive? Many of you have heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again over and over and over again for the rest of my life. It's both. And a way that intuition works with interpretation is this. You may know 6 keywords for a particular card. Your intuition will tell you which one is true and perhaps how it's true. The context of the surrounding cards will also help you figure that out. And sometimes more than one keyword can be true. So now let's play a game. I am going to choose a card at random, and we're going to see how many keywords we can come up with for this one card as a group, as a worldwide group, which we are. So how cool is that? And Julia had asked me to share about FPG, Florida Pagan Gathering, meets twice a year for Beltane and Samhain. Beltane's coming up. It's the last weekend in April, being held at the Boyd Nature Preserve in St. Petersburg. Would love to see you there. I'm one of the headliners. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm teaching 4 classes. Okay, very good. Very good. All right, so I'm going to pick one card at random. Okay, the world. Here's our card for our exercise. And as we do this exercise, because we'll do more exercises and I have a little bit of a lag here, when you chat in the name of the card. So I'm going to ask you to chat in a keyword for this card, just one. Your favorite one, the one that strikes you right now. Chat in a keyword for this card with the name of it. So say the world and then whatever your keyword is. And I'm going to say larger perspective is, and so when I say keyword, I could mean key phrase. How about that? So take a larger perspective is one of my keywords for the world. Loler says homecoming. That's a beautiful thing and very different. Here's another one. World travel. From Sean for the world. Completeness. Okay, Julia's in there reading for Linda. What else do you see for the world? From Lisa. Abundance. She sees it as a card of abundance. From Amy, the world. Completion. So that's a lot of different key words. Linda also says completion. Danny says full circle. Steve says success. Joanne says possibilities. Yeah, that's one I like. The world is your oyster. Okay. Maria says happy ending. Anna, hey, good to see you, Anna. Anna says fulfillment. Patty says full circle. So all of these different keywords. So ask yourself now, do you have for each of the 78 cards a big basket full of keywords and key phrases? That's what you're looking to do. The more of those you have, the more you can tap into your intuition to see which ones are most appropriate. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, Julia asked us, so what happens when the card that comes up does not seem to easily answer the question? For instance, if you're asking about money and cups comes up instead of pentacles. Or if you're asking about what's going to happen and a court card comes up. Sometimes, and I think what is so difficult about this for we tarot readers is we are all tarot readers because we know that so often the cards that come up are so poignant, so spot on, so completely mind-blowingly, crazily easy to interpret that, we buy into this as a real thing. And then when a card comes up that causes us to think a little bit, we might panic. We might not know what to do with it. But I promise you that process of having to think about it is valuable. And if you're reading for another person and you're really not sure, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to say, this card puzzles me. Now, Mary Greer has a specific thing to do if you're really stuck on a card. She says simply, say the name of the card and just breathe for a moment and see what comes to you. It's a way of invoking the energy of the card. That's how I interpreted it anyway. So Joanne says, sometimes the meaning or answer doesn't come up in the exact order. The answer is there and it will surface. Okay. So here's the thing. Everything impacts everything else. So say here, let's see. Okay. Say the question was, should I change jobs? And the card we got is the Hermit. It's not a clear, obvious answer. So how would you interpret this card? You might say, are you lonely at work? You might say, is your work matching, the mental challenge that you want to have? You might say, are you in the position of authority or overseeing others as you would like to? Now, sometimes when this happens, you really need more than one card. To pull another card to sort of tell the story more is a helpful thing to do as well. And those of you who know me know I'm very generous with the number of cards I bring out. And I don't always talk specifically about the cards. I often just sort of say what I see. From Tracy with the Hermit, do you like to work on your own? That's a perfect question. Do you like to work on your own? I love that. I love that. Danny says, maybe go within to find the answer, to meditate. Or even to say, isn't there something inside you that you really want to do, but maybe have been afraid of it because you know it's an arduous journey? Maybe something like that. Lola says, Hermit, I would say you need to think about it for a while. Now, another thing on a very mundane level, the Hermit can talk about higher education. And so it might say, yes, but you would need to increase your education. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Linda says, reflection, first think carefully what your next move will be. Absolutely. All of those things. And so we can see that if you don't panic and just sort of find a way to fit it in, it'll work. It really will. Okay. Now, Anna, for the Hermit, are you comparing your current job with something you experienced in the past? Isn't that interesting? Very good. I like that. I like that. I think one of the values of meeting together every month and doing this is that we can really see different ways of looking at the cards. When we talk about the Hermit, I've already shuffled them back in, but there is a time aspect with the Hermit that I think we sometimes forget to think about. So that's very good. I'm very pleased with that. Now let's talk about how card combinations affect things. Let's come up with a hypothetical question. And we recognize that when we're doing these hypothetical tarot readings, there is a real value to it, but there's no way it can be intuitive. The intuition can only happen in an actual reading, not a hypothetical reading. So we use our intuition, I think, more in the first part where we're actually reading for each other. So Julia says, so funny. One time I got the Hermit and it told me to find something I had lost with a flashlight. Yes. Beautiful. That is such yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. Sometimes it's very literal. You just interpret with the picture. Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay. Okay. So let's think about that same question. Should I change jobs? That's a very typical question. Oh, no. Let's do a different one. Let's now move to love. Why not? That would be more fun, right? Okay. So a single person asks, what do I need to do to find the right relationship? Because we want them to be really savvy and ask a well-phrased tarot question. So, and just about the Hermit, Lola's coming in to say a cool thing to do is to look at what the Hermit is illuminating within the spread. Where is his light shining? So when you see the Hermit in a spread, look at where his light is shining on. I think that's very cool. To look at the cards graphically and how they interact with each other is a beautiful thing. It really is. So, what card are we going to work with here? Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly Julia's question. It couldn't be better. So the question is, from the single person, what do I need to do to find a great relationship? And we get the Seven of Pentacles, not a very romantic card at all. So, how would you interpret the Seven of Pentacles in the context of what do I need to do to find a great relationship? I would say you may need to really do the drudgery work of dating. Go online, get on an app, and really start doing it. Get a great profile, slog through those ridiculous emails, and treat it like a job. Lawler says, patience, allow it to come to you. And now those are like almost contradictory messages, and both are appropriate to the card classically. And this is where, Wald Amberstone, I always say this to people, once said to me, you trust the universe to bring the right querent with the right question to the right reader with the right deck at the right time. So in that case, whoever's doing the reading is the one who's right. Okay, assess what you bring. Assess what you bring to the relationships. Very good. Stop wallowing in the memories of past relationships. Also good. Continue growing in what you are doing in your life. Oh, these are all such good interpretations. So beautiful. Now, we're going to add a twist. What if you're doing a 2-card reading and you add to it another card, the Devil reversed? How would that change your interpretation? For me, that would go very strongly with the idea of letting go of the past, letting go of what has hurt you from the past. Absolutely. What else might you say here? Lola says, this is my all good things and all good time card, which is a Grateful Dead reference. And oh my gosh, I saw the best show Monday night, Dead and Company in Sunrise, Florida. Best Dead and Company show ever. It was actually my first. But people tell me it was the best ever, and I absolutely believe it. It was sort of dedicated to Parkland. The boys were all wearing MSD Strong t-shirts. And it was just beautiful. The whole set list was sort of chosen around that. It was amazing. So thanks for bringing up my favorite band. I appreciate it. Okay, we got Need to Let Go of the Past from Julie. Devil reversed. Let go of the past. Yes. Yes. Amy, cultivate your ability to respond to romance in new and better ways. Okay, let's switch it up. Let's play with another card. What if it were the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles reversed? To that, I would say, in a relationship, figure out what you really want. Figure out what works and what doesn't work. Because you don't want to keep doing the same thing. Maybe you have a pattern of dating the same kinds of people, and maybe that's not working for you. Julia sees sorrow from past relationship. Maria, look and see if there's anything that you can improve about yourself physically and appearance-wise to help you find love. In other words, work on yourself a little bit more. Sure, that absolutely makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, now, what about combining the cards with other methods? What about using a pendulum? Sometimes I'll take a pendulum, and if I have a few cards, hold the pendulum over each card to see where the pendulum swings more. Sometimes if I'm reading for another person, I'll read their hands as well. And about that last combination, Tracy says she doesn't know what she wants, building up to be hurt. Joanne says she's trying too hard. Heather says focus on your loves as opposed to your work. Got it. Very good. Very good. Now, let's see. Anna says, working overtime has made your previous partners feel abandoned. There's an interesting way of looking at it. Very good. So these are some interesting exercises to help us see how to dig in and get deeper meanings. There are some other things to think about as well. There are other ways to derive information from tarot cards, to look at astrological associations, to look at what you see as the spiritual lesson of the card versus the mundane meaning. And I would argue, and this is a really good exercise too, I would argue that every card has a spiritual lesson and a mundane meaning. Like my classic example is the Chariot. So the mundane meaning, it's about your car. You got to buy your car, fix a car, travel, do something like that. Its spiritual meaning is about mastery. Its advice is about getting in the driver's seat and moving forward. So let's do one more exercise. We've got like 12 minutes left. So let's do an exercise about spiritual meanings and mundane meanings. I'm going to pull one card at random, and we're going to try to find both. What might this say in a mundane way, and what might this say in a spiritual way? Make sense? Okay. 8 of Swords reversed. Should we use the reversal? I'm going to say yes. I know not all of you are reversal people, but it's my show and I'm a reversal person, so yeah. 8 of Swords reversed. What is the mundane message, and what would be a spiritual lesson or a spiritual message? For me, the spiritual message comes most easily. And it is about really deeply changing what you think, changing the stories that you tell yourself, changing your own personal narrative. It suggests that you are stuck in a personal narrative and need to release yourself from that. Now, on a very mundane level, it might have to do with an addiction, the need to get over an addiction, the need to get over something, to quit a habit. So what would you see there? The 8 of Swords reversed. Is there a spiritual message? Is there a mundane message? Go ahead and say the name of the card and say, like, mundane, this is what I think. Spiritual, this is what I think. Go ahead and play with that and see how that goes and see what you think. So going forward, let's see. Tracy says, find your own spirituality. Break free from religion that may have been forced on you. Mundane, step out of your comfort level. I love that. That's perfect, perfect, perfect. I love it. Let's try one more. Let's try a different card. And again, go ahead and chat in your ideas. Oh, see, I pulled the Chariot. I've already, let's play. Let's play with the Chariot. What else can we come up with? I'm going to say on a mundane level, having to do with a motor vehicle. On a spiritual level, taking control of your life. And make sure you put the name of the card, since we're dealing with a couple of different cards here. So with the 8 of Swords reversed, Joanne says, mundane, wishy-washy, can't make decisions. Spiritual, have faith in your ability to make the right decisions. Okay. Mundane, get out of your head, stop overthinking. Mundane, let go of fear. And I think all of those would have been the 8 of Swords reversed, but could perhaps apply to the Chariot as well. Okay, Julie, for 8 of Swords mundane, get out of victim mode. Oh, I love it. Spiritual, you can let it go and clean those skeletons out. Oh, how beautiful. That is absolutely fabulous. Absolutely terrific. So another thing I want to talk about, okay, we've got the Chariot here too from Tracy. Mundane, news from friends in far-flung places. Spiritual, torn between two paths. From Linda, stop beating yourself up and don't let others overpower your thoughts. Mundane, free yourself from restrictions. Don't let it mess up your day. I love that. That's beautiful. So it was mentioned earlier, I think, by Lola about looking at the Hermit. When you're looking at cards together, looking at graphically how they interact with each other and looking at where the Hermit's light is shining. I think that it's also true in any card that you can look at where your eye is drawn. And there might be a certain part of the picture that will give you more information in the reading as well. So here comes Lola, the Chariot. Mundane, keep your eyes on the prize. Spiritual, let your dreams be your motivation. How beautiful is that? Or your driving force. I love that. Driving force for the Chariot. How brilliant is that? Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Joanne, for the Chariot. Mundane, just keep going the same way. Spiritual, trust in the journey and the road you're taking. That's beautiful. Absolutely love it. Okay, and we might be having issues with a frozen video. If your video is frozen, you can always reload, close Facebook, and come back in, is probably the smartest thing to do. So we're coming to our last few minutes together. And I think it's important when we talk about tarot interpretation to recognize that sometimes the cards are just going to speak. You're going to get in that place where you are speaking and you're not even thinking about what you're saying. It's just coming out. You're getting into the zone. And that's another piece of tarot reading. How do you get into the zone? And so as a final exercise in our last 6 minutes, I want you to shuffle. And the question you're going to ask is for yourself as a tarot reader. How do I get into the zone? What do I have to do to get into that zone, to get into that place where I'm just looking at the cards and the information is flowing? What do I have to do to get there? I'll do mine, interpret for me. Go ahead. If you would like to chat in the card you got, your interpretation, go ahead. And if you'd like, let's continue this exercise in the Global Tarot Circle group here on Facebook. If you're not a member, please do ask to join. I have set the date for our next meeting. It will be exactly a month from now on Wednesday, March 28th, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, Ace of Swords reversed. What I have to do to get into the zone is just not think too much, get out of my own head. And that's absolutely right. When I sort of step to the side, the information really flows. So, as we're coming to the end, and please do feel free if you want to chat in the card you got in answer to that question, what do I have to do to get into the zone? Please go ahead. And in our last few minutes, I just want to again make a few announcements for my friends here in South Florida. Remember that at Dream Angels in Tequesta, the fourth Thursday of the month, Mary Ellen and I do tarot classes there or psychic development or something of that nature. So make sure you check that out. Okay, let's see what we've got going on for Lola. She got the Lovers. It's all about making a choice. Choose the time, surroundings, etc. that is most conducive to get into the zone. Danny, Seven of Pentacles. I'm patient and know the answers will come to me. That's beautiful. Tracy, the Chariot. I have two minds when I read. One in the here and now and one tapped into spiritual messages. The spirit messages have been happening a lot to me now when I read. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, yes. For Jerry, Knight of Swords. What I have to do to get in the zone is have confidence and go with it. Yes, ma'am. Julie, Four of Swords reversed. Maybe I actually have to meditate. Get out of my mind. Linda, Seven of Pentacles. Work at it. Practice more and don't get impatient. Absolutely. For Joanne, What do I need to get in the zone? The world. It's all there for me to step into the zone. As mentioned, the world is my oyster. Get ready and enjoy it. Julia, totally agree with getting out of your head and stepping aside so the wisdom can speak. So in our final few moments, I want to remind you that I am available for readings and mentorship by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, or in person here in my office in Palm City, Florida. I also want to let you know that I will be traveling to New York City March 12th and 13th. I do have readings available on the Upper East Side. Reach out if you are interested. I also have readings except for those 2 days, March 9th through March 21st at True Bikram Yoga in Madison, and at your house if you happen to be in Connecticut, Massachusetts, or Rhode Island. So reach out about that as well. Also, look for my classes. The 2 Sundays I'm in Connecticut, I will be teaching classes, and I'll hope to see you there. If you want to do some shameless self-promotion for yourself, if you have a website, a Facebook page, if you're doing something with tarot, with the arts, if you have a business, before we say goodnight, go ahead and put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Let's do some shameless self-promotion. Share with us what you've got going on. I want to remind you that my website is simply my name, ChristianaGaudet.com. I've got a bunch of blogs. I've got a bunch of downloadable material, a whole lot of stuff. I also want to remind you that my book, Fortune Stellar, is available all over the world on Amazon. So check it out. Tracy has dropped her URL for Black Cat Tarot readings. It's a great website. Please check it out. Amy wants you to see Soulfluent Tarot on Facebook. Again, check it out, and soulfluent.com. Absolutely, Lola says she's loving the book. Yay. Yay. And Joanne is opening her home to me in Connecticut. Well, thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate that. And you know what else I appreciate? I appreciate all of you being here. Whether you're watching live or in archive, our next meeting will be March 28th. Join us right here on my business page, Christiana Gaudet, on Facebook, and make sure you join our discussion group, Global Tarot Circle, on Facebook. It's a pleasure to see you all here. I will look forward to seeing you again soon. You take good care.